Hello and welcome to another episode of Blastercaded Painting. Today we're going to be painting a third-rate villain with a first-rate miniature. So today we're going to be taking a little break from Star Wars Shatterpoint. We're going to be painting some Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we are going to be painting Klaw. I don't know much about Klaw, so I did a little Marvel Wikipedia searching before I started painting him. Turns out his arm was destroyed by the Wakandans, and he put that gun arm on and then climbed into a device that turned him into sound. So he's mostly sound. Yeah, it's weird. Let's paint him. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to give this guy a spray of white all over, and then we are going to take some squid pink. Now, I followed the box art as much as I could, but not exactly. But this squid pink is going to go all over the weird sound version of him. It's a weird miniature. It's him jumping out of himself. Morphing from sound to other sound. I don't understand it at all. It just looks really cool. Not a lot of times you get to paint a miniature that's jumping out of itself. That's a weird sentence. So yeah, the squid pink is going to go all over the weird sound version of himself that he's jumping out of, and also there's some patches on the main version that's jumping out that has some it's like parts that haven't materialized yet right here, and we're going to paint those as well. Then we're going to take some deep red, and this is going to go all over the main version of himself. So the red's going to go all over the bodysuit and parts of his helmet, and we're going to avoid his hands, boots, guns, and little spots on his head. Then we're going to take some Hex Lichen, and this is going to go all over the boots, the shoulder pads, and the gloves. So I did look at the box art quite a few times, and I also looked at their little rotating picture on Instagram just to see where all the purple was going to be. Next, we're going to take some salmon, and this is going to go all over his face. Next, we're going to take some gray, and this is going to go over the little designs that he has on his helmet. So it's sort of like a crowny thing, but it also goes down the side of his face and on his chin as well. This is also going to go on the rims of his boots and gloves. Yeah, it says he snuck into Wakanda with the help of Hydra. That's never good. Next, we're going to take some red tone and some express medium. I've had these Army Painter washes for a while now, and I didn't really like them. I felt like they stained quite a bit and didn't really do what I wanted them to do. But I added a little bit of this express medium to it, and it works perfectly. Exactly what I wanted. So my recommendation is that express medium is the best medium on the market right now. I think it's way better than the speed paint medium, and I think it's way better than the contrast medium by Citadel. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it over the entire miniature. His face, the purple, the red, the squid pink. We're going to try to avoid the white spots on the sound version, but if we get it on there, it's fine. We're going to clean it up later. And we're going to hop back to that squid pink, and we're going to start doing all of our first highlights up on that. So we're just going through and leaving the recesses behind, leaving where we put that red wash, and just bringing up that pink. Now we're going to add a little bit of dead white into that pink and do our second highlight up. Turns out he worked with the Masters of Evil, managed to capture the Avengers, but later they escaped, and Klaw was subdued by a kick from his old foe, the Black Panther. Subdued by a kick. It's pretty weak. Now we're going to take our Hexed Lichen, and we're going to add just a little touch of Squid Pink because it's still just a little too dark, and we're going to start layering up all of our purple. So same way we just did the pink, but we're just doing it with the purple. Then we're going to add a little bit more Squid Pink into that Hex Lichen. We're going to do our second highlight up on that purple. And we're going to take our deep red again, and we're going to start highlighting up that first red. So this is just going to go all over the raised areas, leaving our recesses behind, keeping that shading intact. And we're going to take some Amaranth Red, and we're going to add that into our deep red and get us our next highlight layer up and go through and add all that. So as before, we're leaving a little bit of that deep red that we did and just highlighting up. Now we're going to take our salmon, and we're just going to do one highlight layer up on the face, because it's not like it's a real face, it's a weird Soundman face. Then we're going to take our gray, and we're going to add just a little bit of white into it. We're going to do one highlight layer up on all those gray spots that we did before. So the helmet and the cuffs of the boots and gloves. Turns out he just really hated the Wakandans, because they had vibranium, and apparently that made all of his technology work. Turns out he just really didn't like him. Yeah. Hold the fort. Oh, his dad was a Nazi. Well, that explains it all. Now we're going to take some chain mail silver, and this is going to go all over his sonic weapon arm. Now we're going to take our dead white, and we're just going to clean up all these little sound squares. I don't know, morphing sound squares. It doesn't matter. We're going to clean up all those spots. And like the box art, we're going to put a line of white along the edges of all of these non-morphed sound parts. I don't know what they're called. And we're going to take our Caribbean Ocean. Once that white has dried, we are going to put this all over all those white spots. All those weird sound cubes are getting Caribbean Ocean. And this is, I guess, the energy of him morphing. And it's also going to go on all this white that we put into the edges of those morphed spots. And we want to put this all over the sound splash by his feet. And we're going to take this 14-year-old bottle of Temple Guard Blue and just dot in his eyes with it. I'm going to take a little bit of white and a dry brush, and I'm just going to go over a couple of these spots of blue just to kind of punch him up a little bit. We're going to take some Gravelord Gray and some Express Medium. We're going to put it all over this sound cannon he has. When we're done that, we're going to do the base, and this guy is done. And as you can see here, he is a super cool miniature. Really fun little project to paint. Not too complicated. I try to make it as simple as possible. The colors really pop on him, and yeah, a lot of fun. I really like this sculpt. When they first showed this miniature off at Adepticon, I knew I wanted to paint it. It was such a neat, interesting miniature. Not so much fun to put together, especially since they didn't put the instructions online for like 3 days, and I kind of had to wing it, but I got it done. It's also a neat project, like I said earlier, because it's like two different miniatures together. Like you're doing two different miniatures on the same base. It's an interesting an interesting sculpt and super cool. Next week we'll be getting back into Star Wars Shatterpoint. I have a ton more content that I'm creating for that. That's going to be most of the summer. Star Wars Shatterpoint is going to be most of the summer and fall by the looks of it, because I love it, with some Marvel Crisis Protocol sprinkled on in. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of the YouTube stuff, and you guys have a great day. So today we're taking a break from Star Wars Shatterpoint, and we're going to paint some Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we are going to paint that. We're going to hop back to that squid, pwing.